as we talk to Courtney here on Kap and J Hood. Courtney, good morning. How are you?
I'm great, guys. How are we doing?
We're doing very, very well. I watched the first Minnesota game. I watched the Vikings loss to the Raven. I watched the Vikings win over the Lion. And I went back and watched the Bear-Giant game because I have no life. That's what I chose to do with my time this week. And as I watched it, I've got some concerns about this game. I think there are some that who are, more cursory look at it and go, oh, we should beat the Vikings. You better not allow them to establish the run, and then as you bring guys up to stop the run, oh, that's Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, T.J. Hockenson with no T.J. Edwards there. That's Aaron Jones on a wheel route, which he did the first week. That's what I've seen in my nightmares. Am I wrong?
Well, yeah, and you're right about that. And it was frustrating, I think, for Vikings fans watching it last week when Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason were running 5 yards a pop, and then they go away from it kind of inexplicably. They can be an effective run team when they commit to it. And, with what, you think about the different changes in defensive personnel for both sides. Remember, Harrison Smith wasn't playing in that first game. He'll be playing in this game. And that's the cat and mouse matchup that Caleb's talked about that we obviously know with Flo and the blitzing and why it didn't happen as much week one. Why it very well could happen, this week. T.J. Edwards was also not playing in that game. Wasn't that the hamstring injury, if I remember correctly,
Correct.
3 months ago?
Correct. That,
he leaves training camp on cut-down day, and it's oh, boy, that looks like it's going to cost him some time, and it did. And you expose yourself. You have some vulnerabilities in the middle of the defense against the run when he's not in there. And we know that he's not back at practice yet because of the hand surgery, and he has the hamstring injury. So, yeah, I do think that that's something that they could look to with J.J. McCarthy struggling with some consistency and accuracy of finding his receivers, leaning more on the run. I would imagine that is very much a part of this game plan and how to not let those running lanes, especially in the fourth quarter when the defense is wearing down the way that it did last time, not let that happen again.
So I thought it was a great thought that you had talking about the offensive line for the Chicago Bears. I just want to know what you gleaned from hearing from Caleb Williams and from the head coach, Ben Johnson, regarding how Caleb's more upright. And because of that, what I figured out watching the Bears, Courtney, is as long as Caleb is upright, the Bears have a chance to be able to get the ball down the field. But what did you think of what you wrote regarding that?
Yeah, I mean, sacks, as we know, are a stat that's on everybody. When Justin Fields was here, I think more often than not, and yes, the offensive line was not good, but I feel like the conversation 3 years ago through the time that he was traded was the offensive line's terrible, it's all on them, sacks are completely their fault, Justin and his sack, him not being able to avoid sacks, nothing to do with him. Whereas if you look at it rationally, the time a quarterback holds onto the ball, their scrambling ability, their ability to evade pressure matters as much as the guys in front of them blocking for them, as everybody blocking for them, really. And so I think some of the things that, show you the investment is paying off, obviously the upgrade to the interior with Dahlman, Jackson, Tooney, they've got a 0.2 sack rate through the interior, those three interior linemen. That's the third lowest in the NFL. 5.8 pressure rate this season, 8th lowest. So that's paying off for you. I honestly think one of the stats that really stood out to me, guys, was that the Bears last year allowed 13 unblocked sacks. They are the only offense right now to not allow one this year. That's backs helping in pass pro. That's obviously the offensive line. We know that receivers in their kind of penchant to block too helps with the entire operation. It's an upgrade everywhere, and then you get to the quarterback. I think you've got to address the 10 other guys first, them doing their jobs in specific to the offensive line, but also give Caleb a lot of credit for being able to sense pressure when he talked about, the two examples that he gave us about feeling like those would have been touchdowns had he just been able to connect a little bit better with DJ Moore, and then there was a throw over the middle to Roma Dunze, but he still spun his way out of a sack. And when he does that, when he evades and when he can take off and keep plays alive in the scramble drill, he's one of the most dangerous quarterbacks out there. So all of that's coming together to not only certainly career longevity, taking 14 sacks this year as opposed to 38 at this time last year, that helps him with his health, being able to stay out there. We know he's never missed a game, as he said, did at the podium when he knocked on wood when somebody brought that up. That's very apparent, but it also keeps the offense. It's more than just affecting the quarterback. It's keeping drives alive. And I think that he's willing to hang in there and learning to do it a little bit more. You give yourself maybe a tick longer, as Ben Johnson pointed out, and that might create a really explosive play. That's coaching on top of it. So I think it's multifaceted, but I absolutely believe it's one of the biggest reasons why this offense is as successful as it's been, putting up as many points as it has through the first 9 games, and in a much different spot than it's been at any other point the last 10 years, honestly.
In terms of injuries, where are we? I know TJ Edwards had a hand surgery, hasn't been practicing. DeAndre Swift has been a full participant. Good to see. So where are we?
So the 2 receivers that, DJ and Roma Dunze, they were upgraded to limited yesterday. I imagine, given DJ said he's playing this weekend.
Well, I liked how you wrote your tweet. Duh.
When he said duh, that's him. So apparently, he is a 90s baby, but I didn't think that he would be using lingo that I used when I was 6. So, yeah, he said duh. That was a one word, I'm playing, duh. And, you've got to give this guy credit, because I went up to him and I was like, are you spending more money on, your body recovery this year? You're 27, 28, and kind of gave me a side eye, come on. He's been through so many injuries, but something about him, he's like Wolverine. He just bounces back week after week. He exited the game with a shoulder injury, isn't playing with any sort of apparatus or anything, and he misses a day of practice, but then he's right back to it, and he says he's playing. So I think that's something fans should appreciate. With this group of skill players, in specific to the receivers, Rome was battling through that foot injury, and he still plays. DJ's got a weekly injury at this point because he takes some really heavy hits and he plays. Those are all good things. On defense, though, Jaquan Brisker has a back injury, and he's been DNP the last 2 days. So I think that's the one that you've got circled as to if he can't go. Looking at Elijah Hicks back there, rotation with him and Jonathan Owens, and it's interesting because he's been healthy this entire season, and he still finished the game last week in spite of having this back injury. So I think today's designation will be important to see if he's going to be questionable or if he's just going to be ruled out. But that is the big one right now on defense.
I work with this senior citizen every day, cleaning out the beak before he comes on the air. Just unprofessional, just blowing into just a napkin, just disgusting. Just where's your handkerchief, old timer?
I don't carry one of those. Those are gross.
Okay. Well, what do you think? What I just heard.
I used a Kleenex.
It's just so bad. You could have stepped out of the studio. Oh my God,
Courtney, this guy's something else, man.
Do you have a cold, Cap?
No, not at all.
No, but he's had a cough since Vegas, though.
Boy.
Since Vegas.
The whooping Vegas cough. That's
Do you have an old medical journal?
There's a vaccination for that one.
Do you have an old medical journal that you can open up and give to Cap for having a cough since Vegas?
Yeah, let me go get one of my dad's old JAMA, one of those big books that we used to have.
Journal of American Medicine, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll go find one of those when I get back to Chicago, and I'll find whatever bubonic plague that Cap has. We'll clear him.
We're all good.
Is it just me, or do dads, people Cap's age, old middle-aged men, do they sneeze louder than anybody else you know? Is that just me? I hear Cap sneezing all the way down the hallway.
I actually think I've heard a theory behind this, that the older you get, as men, and you guys would know this better than me. I will never know this. But the louder it gets, the older you get, and I think it's probably some dramatic effect in there. But Jack, I don't think you're wrong on that. I do think it does get louder.
Well, the one thing is, I read something that if you try to suppress it to be quiet, you can break a bone in your face. So I just let it go.
That's fine.
That seems extreme. I don't know if that's in the Journal of American Medicine.
I think it is. That's in JAMA.
Also, because Jack this morning, for whatever reason, is the fountain of misinformation, called Cap a middle-aged man. So there's a guy here. He's totally off. I don't know. They need to plug him
I
up.
think it's actually more of a compliment than anything else. Cap looks good. Like you look like a middle-aged man.
Thank you,
Is that
Courtney.
fair?
Yes, thank you very much.
So, Cap, you
Great.
said you
Very
try to suppress your sneeze.
Like if you try to go, do it quietly, that you could break a bone in your face.
What kind of sneeze is that? Is that happening in like a spaceship at like high altitude?
Courtney clearly needing glasses, calling you a middle-aged looking as we talk Bears with Courtney Cronin here on Kap and J Hood. We were talking about the defense. Yes, exactly. You need a light hot shoe. It was violent. We were talking about the top players defensively for the Bears, and I told you, Captain, I felt like C.J. Gardner-Johnson, even though he just got here, has been an impactful player defensively, where I'm putting him my top 3, top 5.
Who would your top 3 most impactful defensive players this season be? I did not have C.J. Gardner-Johnson in my top 3. Top 5 or 6, maybe, but top 3 was not. Who would yours be?
I'd put Tremaine Edmonds in no order, but I'd put Tremaine Edmonds in there. Given the way that Montez Sweat has come on since the New Orleans game, I will put Montez Sweat in there. He leads the team with 5.5 sacks. I think that's impactful, as it should be for your highest paid player.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I'd probably put it feels very recent to do C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I absolutely get it though.
Well,
3
where's
sacks,
Kevin
the forced
Byard?
fumble. I was gonna get there. He's in there too. He has a team high 4 interceptions. Byard has been incredible to the back end of this defense since he got here. Model of stability, consistency. He always plays. I think I'd have to go over the course of the season because I've seen more of them, those 3, and then Gardner-Johnson I put as an honorable mention because you can't deny the impact he's had in 2 games. He knows this defense. He's playing a position that I think is a better fit for him than playing safety, which he played in Philadelphia when they won a Super Bowl. And now that Dennis Allen can trust the corner blitz and can blitz from the secondary, that gives, that's a weapon that I don't know if they were using enough of early on in the season. He'll get there if he continues to play this way. And I think just in terms of what this means for Kyler Gordon's recovery, when he comes back, if it's next week against the Steelers, if it's after that, I think it gives the Bears, they get healthy at the right time because I don't think that it means Gardner-Johnson goes to the bench because we know that Gordon can play outside. I remember having a conversation with Al Harris about this a couple weeks ago, just the idea that when you get Kyler back, and this is when he was recovering from the hamstring, is there talk of maybe he could play outside corner? I think that's an option that will be on the table when he comes back healthy if Gardner-Johnson continues to play this way. But he certainly, to come in right away, the sack in Cincinnati, the 2 last week, the peanut punch, the whole thing, I think it's a really smart – it's a move that makes the Bears front office and coaching staff look really smart that they went after it when they did.
Courtney, have a wonderful rest of your week. Have a safe trip to your old home in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Thank you. I'm going to be a little afraid if I get when I get on an airplane today, though. If I have to sneeze, I guess I'm going to try to do it as loud as I can and not suppress anything and sneeze all over the people, so I don't. What'd you say? Bust a bone in my orbital structure? Is that what I'm at risk of?
Yeah. So you don't have to go, scream it. Just let it go.
I think I'm going to do it for dramatic effect now because that's just what it's going to be.
That'd be awesome.
When Courtney sneezes, she rears her head back and she goes, "Ah!" That's what it sounds like.
That'd be amazing.
Thank you, Courtney.